Welcome to New Realities. I'm Alan Steinfeld, and this program is about the evolution of our consciousness, of our awakening, of our possibility. And I'm joined here today by my good friend CC Treadway, who's co-hosting the episode here, and we'll be interviewing Deanna Morae about, do you want to tell them what's about?
It's about a revolutionary system called Blissology. And Deanna's going to demonstrate for us because I don't think I could really do it justice in a description, and I'm looking forward to it.
Deanna, Blissology, be her hero. This is for men, for women.
It is for both.
Oh,
it really is. But you know, I like to inspire men to step forward and learn these techniques because there's so much value in it for men. First of all, it's a really good way to help get them out of the doghouse.
Oh, really?
But more than that, men who really love deeply and care for the woman in their life, they want to find ways to help and soothe the woman in her life when she's frustrated, when she's had a bad day, when the kids are overwhelming, when something's gone bad at work, or she's even hormonal. Doesn't matter.
So this is a kit?
That is a kit. This is a kit that I've put together. Valentine's Day is coming up, of course.
It's a Blissology kit.
It is a Blissology kit. And so we put everything in there that I could find that helped make connection and love and bond for couples.
Can I open the kit?
I want to see what.
Let's see those. Oh.
That's amazing.
Should I do something?
Yes.
Wait.
You put it right there on the crown of her head, and then you push down a little bit, gently.
There you go.
Is that working?
Okay.
Now rotate it in a round kind of,
Rotate
no,
it.
like this. Like this.
Like, lost it. Wait, here, hold the Blissology kit. And
So-
wait, here, give me that wide two-shot or
There
something.
you go.
Okay.
Now you go
Okay.
kind of in a round.
Around like that?
No, around like move your hand like the handle.
Oh, like
there you
that.
go. See, look at her.
Are you experiencing bliss? What are you experiencing there?
Down a little
Instant
farther.
Oh, yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Do that round thing she said again.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. Oh.
That
like
is
that technique?
everything.
You know, women like circles.
They do? Okay.
They do.
They do? Okay.
So
Remember that.
That's important.
Okay, that's, what do you call this thing?
That's the Blisser.
This is the Blisser itself.
That's one of the tools that we have in the
Okay.
kit. Now this is really the best tool to use for the men.
Is it?
So a gal could use this one on her guy.
Use on it?
Okay.
Okay.
Right on the crown of his head, and then do that circular movement. There you go.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
That is good. Yeah, I'm getting a bliss thing going, yeah. That is good. Well, that's all we need to do, right?
Well, that helps. That's just extra
Okay.
tools. That isn't the whole thing.
That's not the whole
Do you
kit.
want to know what else is in the
Yes.
surprise basket?
Thank you for that
Okay,
bliss
so
moment. Yeah.
one of the things in the kit is the Blissology DVD. And it's the training DVD. It teaches all the techniques and has a little bit of work in there for the relationship.
What kind of technique?
The Blissology technique.
Which is?
It's a technique that I developed and I created and designed, and we've applied for patent because it's different than anything else.
It's a kind of stimulating.
It's a stimulating. It's not massage. It's not.
Is it sexual?
It isn't.
It's not. It's
But
just, okay.
here's the thing. It changes brain chemistry in a way that opens the door for more intimacy, more connection, and more yummy, juicy stuff.
I am changing her brain chemistry.
Yes.
You like that?
It's actually changing her brain chemistry in a way that is so pleasurable. It is a lot like it's drugs. It's like natural
Really?
drugs. You get the tools to learn how to stimulate in her natural drugs that make her feel happy, healthier, and actually start to make your entire body recover and repair.
Really?
Blissology triggers the parasympathetic nervous system in the brain of the woman that you're using it on.
Blissology, the techniques we will learn, I feel like it's an infomercial, but the techniques we're going to learn in this
DVD.
will trigger
Endorphins.
To create
Apparently, we're going to be doing this.
Brain chemistry.
Are we
You
doing
should
it
come
now?
to the class on Friday.
Oh,
Definitely.
Are we doing it now?
I don't know.
Okay.
So the DVD teaches all of those things. It teaches the how and the why, and it teaches the science behind the technique so you understand how it's working.
Well, It's great. What else we have here?
So this is a Blissology music.
Blissology
music to bliss by. It's music that I had custom created by a musician in Indiana. He is a oneness blessing giver, and he is
oneness blessing.
Oneness blessing giver.
Blessing and blissing.
Yes, it's true. I thought they went very well together. And he's a shaman, and he did energetic work in the studio while he was creating the music.
And what else do we have in there?
What else do you have in here? This is Bliss Sensual.
Bliss Sensual.
Yes.
It's exciting, isn't it?
This is
this much bliss.
This is the only one that I know of. It's an organic, intimate lubricant.
So I use this to lubricate her.
And
or whoever, not necessarily her.
Right.
I don't know you that well.
Right. Because we have to.
We just look closest person. Okay.
It's just. It's
so
just
does
about,
this do more than lubricate? I mean, does it?
It actually stimulates.
We won't use it now.
It actually increases sensitivity just a little bit.
It does, because I've heard of someone else developing something like that, which actually kind of creates more engorging of the organs.
Right, and now I don't know about the engorging part. I do know that it makes the feminine tissues more sensitive, but most of all, it's organic. It's based in a coconut oil and other oils.
Do you have an extra one of these?
I can get. I'll hook you up with one. Okay, I'll hook you up with one.
Thank you.
So
all of this, the hair, the thing, the music, the baby. What will be the results? Because you have a picture of what the results are.
I do.
But can we just do a little demonstration, like of some of the other bliss techniques? Do you have like a little?
Yeah, I'll just show you one thing that I start with that I always recommend that you kind of start with. But the difference with Blissology and why it's so valuable and important is because, you know, have either one of you ever been in a room where somebody came into the room, they didn't even interact with you, but they were not in a good mood, and you could feel it, right? You could just feel it permeate the room.
I may have even been that person.
Well, then you could really feel it.
I'm sure I've been that person from time to time too, and that's what this is all about. Well, the same thing happens when people come into the room and they're in a place of peace and groundedness and clarity and really feeling and vibrating at a very high.
If you come to a room full of bliss, people are gonna.
They can feel it. All right, so now think about teaching Blissology to 10 million men on the planet. They can help soothe and make more joyful the woman in their life instantly after the worst day even.
Okay.
And make connection. Now you have a happier home life, happier children, happier wife, happier mother, lover, etc. When you change that in 10 million people, you start to change the vibrational level on the planet. You start to change where we're going when millions of people are making instant connection, changing brain chemistry. It's something you can do. It's easy to do.
Right. And it sort of reverses the roles. The women used to have to make the men feel good in and now the men are here to make the woman feel good.
You know, it's a very interesting conversation you open up there about the masculine and the feminine, because some of the stuff that I teach in the class talks specifically about the difficulty that we have now that we have moved into a results-based society and we have funneled all of our women into jobs into a results-based work environment and world. Now here's the thing that happens. The masculine is fed by results. So think about men, things that they enjoy. When they talk about things, they enjoy sports. They talk about how many touchdowns, how many points did they win, how big was the fish, how many strokes was the game, and they get very excited. How many accounts did you win, and how much money did he make, and how many cars does he have?
And what do women talk about?
Oh, well, we talk a lot based more in our feelings. We're very kinesthetic, so it's how deeply did we connect today? The feeling of laughter, the feeling of that bond.
Yeah, it's about the experience. When you feed the feminine energy in men or women, when you're feeding feminine energy, that's when you're talking about how it felt. What did you experience today? What was it like? When mom asked the kids how was school today, she says, "Hi, honey, how was your day? I missed you. Did you do well on the test?" When dad comes and asks how school was, he says, how did you do on your test, and how are your grades? It's all results. So we've pushed our women into a results-based society where they live most of the time successfully in their masculine energy.
I see. I see.
Now, what are you going to do when you get home and you have two people who are in their masculine meeting at home?
That's the
There's
problem.
no polarity.
Yes.
Right.
There's no polarity. There's no dance. And there's no draw.
And the women are stressed.
Yes.
So they need Blissology even more.
Because as soon as you can soothe and connect her back into her feminine,
Yeah, she's happy.
not only is she happy, but the task-oriented, vigilant center part of her brain that goes on and on and on about all the things that she has to do, that part of her quiets down and she remembers, oh, he's so handsome. Oh, look at those lovely blue eyes.
And you know what happens for the men, though?
I missed him today, I think, you know?
You know what happens for the men? If I can make my woman feel good, then it's like scoring a touchdown. It's making it go. It's very result, and it feels very...
I always say that. I always say that. It's like, yes, I always score.
So she's getting what she wants, I'm getting what I want, and we have bliss together.
It's true. But see, that's what I was telling you about the hero. My campaign is all about the hero campaign because I have found consistently that men who really love the women in their lives, they always want to know if they knew the right thing to do to make her happy, they would do it.
Right.
But they don't know what the right thing is.
You're telling us what the right thing is.
I am telling you the right thing.
How to make us happy.
You put a new tool in your
She's
toolbox.
making it really easy for you guys.
Oh, good. It needs to be easy because we're a little dense.
And here's the good news. When you use Blissology, it not only changes the stress level in the woman in your life, but it also changes, and the image that I showed you before.
Let's see if we can bring that up. Well, let me see. What's the lock here, Natasha? 0521. Okay.
Okay.
Here we go. Okay, let's zoom in. So this is a thermography.
After a 3-minute Blissology treatment.
So on the
the one here where
on the left,
yes,
that would
this
be,
one.
Yes.
This is a before.
Whoops.
Oops.
That is a
Thank you.
before image, okay?
Okay,
and
so
what
what
you
are we
see
seeing
is the
in
red
that?
around her neck.
The red is inflammation.
That's heat and swelling, inflammation, that kind of thing. You'll see in her sinuses how they're little disjointed little pockets.
Yeah.
But on the other side.
Okay, wait. So that's her sinuses.
Right.
And the redness, inflammation around her eyes. This is before Blissology treatment.
And this
then we go down to her neck. Very inflamed, very stressed out.
A lot of heat.
For people who don't know thermography, it's a whole science, but it basically shows the inflammation, heat patterns in the body. So that's her before, and after 3 minutes, you're saying?
3 minutes, we timed it.
3 minutes.
Do you see the swelling and the heat that's gone from
go
her?
back to that.
From her neck?
Yes.
And do you see how her sinuses are completely opened up and they're all connected there?
Yeah.
That means that in 3 minutes we have opened her sinuses and increased her breathing.
Wow. Go back to that one more time. Yeah.
And then the black on the end of her nose shows that. It shows
that. No, what?
Oh no, where'd it go?
Wait. We lost her. Oh,
so,
no. Okay.
But I can tell you, the black on the end of her nose shows that that's pure air getting in. And she has more airflow than she had just 3 minutes ago.
What did you do to this woman? No, I mean, what did you...
These techniques. But see, it's about the parasympathetic nervous system.
Which is what?
You know what? That's an awesome question because when I started this, I didn't know. But all the research that I did, I learned it. The parasympathetic nervous system is triggered, and it sends a message from the nervous system at the base of the neck down through the entire body.
It's our unconscious nervous system?
I don't know about conscious or unconscious, but I think it is unconscious, but it's the parasympathetic. And the difference is, sympathetic is the one where you're fight or flight. You're ready to go. You're on ready. All your adrenaline is up, and you're ready to defend.
That's sympathetic.
Yes.
The parasympathetic
is rest and digest.
Oh, okay.
So the message that goes through your entire body, down through your stomach, your liver, your toes, your nerves, your muscles, is...
Oh, so it stimulates our rest and digest system.
Yes.
And that's...
Instantly.
This Blissology.
Instantly. And you know how you can tell when somebody's triggered your rest and digest system?
You start to feel better. What?
You do start to feel better. But the one very noticeable trigger is that if you get working with a woman in only a couple minutes, you'll hear...
Does that happen to you?
Yes,
you'll hear a
it
deep
does.
sigh. It's what happens when you get in for a massage. Somebody starts doing a foot massage. You'll notice people start to, and they just start to breathe out, and their whole body starts to settle down. But women are very keyed up because we're so much in that vigilant center and in that masculine energy. We're keyed up a lot.
And we're feeling a lot while we're keyed up. We're feeling 3 times as much as men.
You are.
Because we're still feeling based.
That explains
Then we get home,
it.
we're like, you know?
Right? You're like a bare nerve ending.
Because men don't feel that much in the way.
Not most men.
Most men, because
There
they're
are-
all
there are
no.
sensitive
I
men
think the
too, but-
reason is because they're all mental. They're not actually in their feeling. They're thinking,
in their body.
Or they're more
yeah.
testosterone based, which is
which is
less
more
nuanced.
action and doing.
Yes,
and
results.
Results. Action, action, action,
Yes.
or
Which is
thought
great.
and action. But women are in their bodies more because I think of their cycles help put them in their bodies, and they also are more feeling.
But you know, it's funny how many women don't even realize that they're out of their feminine energy. And men are starting to wonder, have you noticed that in the society so often there are guys who are like, well, I don't know really how to approach women anymore. And
Right.
there are so many women who are so independent, they're like, well, what do I really need you for? I got a
Right.
job, I can pay for a handyman, and where is it men are going to be able to show up and intrigue and entice and connect with women?
Where?
It's going to have to change, and that's where the Blissology starts to make a connection because it brings the women back into their feminine.
But you have to have a relationship before you go into the Blissology, right? You just
Well-
can't say, come over for a Blissology session, or can you?
You know, in the long run, my
Okay.
long-term vision is that we do have places where women go and just make connection.
really?
But at this point, because we're just getting started and we're just getting launched, we want to teach it. We want men all over the world to
good.
learn it,
Well,
so
come
they
over
can
for
start.
Blissology.
sure.
She'll melt, you know. Now the thing about it is, I'm going to warn you, CC. I'm going to warn you. When you give license and permission to a man to step into your life to use this, you really will be more susceptible to saying yes to whatever it is they ask. My
Like a
children,
few drinks.
It is.
Isn't that a good thing, though?
Your judgment gets
Just say
impaired.
yes.
It's impaired.
No, I don't think necessarily. You're more in your feelings. It's less like.
No, but it's like a drug.
but
It
it's
is.
less. I think it's also less defense.
Yeah.
Women let down the defensive, get out of here, and says, it's like opening to love.
It is opening.
Because men just really want the connection to love. You know, it's not all the things women project, I think, onto men. It's more like connection. It really is much more of that. Than,
Actually, I
Definitely.
think that's what it is men crave from women.
Yes,
is
thank
the
you.
connection, because I think we often have an influence on men reminding them to connect to their heart, reminding
like
them
walking into that
what it
room again.
feels like, not what it's doing. What are we doing, but what does it feel like? And I think that's the intrigue that most men have with the woman in their life and that they love about her, is that it reminds them to feel.
Right. So if they have a Blissology package
Yes.
box, then they will help open the relationship and get them both into feeling more.
Absolutely. And I'll tell you what's interesting, because this is some of that woo-woo stuff.
I love
right,
that.
we
That's
talk-
what this program's all about.
I know,
We're all
right?
about it.
So here's the thing that happens. When you're using Blissology, when a guy is using Blissology, he is within arm's reach to a woman that he has just started to help her shift. Now she's vibrating at the highest level of love and light. She's vibrating at a new level that feels good. When you're in arm's reach to a woman who is like a lighthouse with all of the shields dropped,
Right.
and she's radiating that from her highest level, you're getting bathed in it.
And it's stimulating that loving presence feeling.
You know, I didn't know this until we had several classes, and I had men in the class say, you know, I knew that this was going to, when we first started, I knew she was going to love this and she was going to feel good with this. But I don't understand, why is it that I feel so good just doing it? And it took several classes where I started to realize the men were getting bathed in this vibrational energy that was surrounding these women who have become so relaxed, so at peace, so grounded, so connected, so open. And they can feel it just bathing them in the room.
So how do people find you, and how do people do the classes, and how do we get one of these in every home?
That's the mission, right? The long-term mission is to make sure, I want to create a movement.
A Blissology movement.
Really, where
Okay.
we make connection in a whole new way. The website is beherhero.com.
Beherhero.com. Okay.
And then the class that's coming up on Friday that's here in New York is http://newyork.beherhero.com.
And you can you become a certified Blissologist?
Yes, we are developing programming because we want to have more coaches and trainers out all over.
Well, how would this fit into, like, you're a healer, you do intuitive work, how would this fit into your work?
Well, one of the main things I do is help women recover from trauma and open back into their feminine bliss. So this would be a beautiful and easy tool for them to go home with their partners and be able to relax first. It's such a simple concept, but you'd be surprised how many relationships that this very key ingredient is missing in the sexual polarity of the woman not being relaxed and the man not understanding how much the woman really needs to be in that receptive state before sex can happen.
Right, or
And
love.
that is
even.
everything about this opening that door.
Right.
Blissology. And that is actually something in my long-term vision that we want to go out and do, is participate in healing groups and teaching those partners how to touch a woman who's had trauma in ways that will allow her to open instead of cause her to be more closed and defensive.
Because it can re-wound, whereas a healing touch can shift
And
everything.
because it's not sexual,
Right.
it's the right place to start.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't feel like, oh, you just want to,
Right.
Yeah, whatever, I
You're
don't-
here, just give to the woman so they can receive, and then make them feel good.
and make her feel safe
Safe.
and connected.
That's key for the women
Right.
you work with, right?
Definitely.
And the parasympathetic nervous system, when you get into that rest and digest, now you're open for new connection, new touch, new opportunities.
New experiences to
Right.
reprogram and rewire.
So how long does it take, or for a woman to start to open? I mean, what's your experience? I mean, no formula, of
Oh,
course,
there's
but-
really no formula. I mean, for some women, they deal with it very quickly and can move through it very quickly, and for others, it could be a 20, 30-year process,
Right.
really depending on.
But what helps the
who
most,
they
would
are.
you think, for women?
Oh, first of all, coming into the sacred work with a healer is often, the first step.
That's you.
Yeah, or any kind of therapeutic process. Where healing work might take it a little deeper is that we'll work specifically with the energetic imprints and be able to start shifting things and giving the body a new experience kind of immediately without anything invasive. And so I would say after some of that work, then there's the possibility to move more into sensuality again and things like that. Or this kind of work, or even just bringing a man back in.
Yeah, because
Awesome.
that is great. So this is
That
perfect.
is so
This is
needed.
perfect for you.
Yeah.
Would you recommend women and women doing this?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Because it's about, one of the other things I've learned, because I've come from a traumatic background, so I have a lot of understanding, and I think that's probably the biggest part of where this came from.
Was
okay?
your own trauma, trying to
I
heal?
came from we had domestic violence. There was sexual abuse from a young age till I was over 16. There was all kinds of stuff tied up in there. So how do you take a woman who is used to being on the ready, which I was,
defensive and pushed and yeah.
oh, when people ask me, and they do, they'll always ask me, well, how did you come up with this? I said, look, at the risk of being offensive, I was the bitch that was hard to live with.
Oh.
I was so stressed and overwhelmed and under-supported and under-connected and underpaid, that it's like, go ahead, try to just touch this woman and without her being just a ticking time bomb, right? Just try to piss me off. Just do one, right? It was not a good place to be. And when I discovered these techniques, and I discovered how quickly I went from this wounded, angry, afraid, on the ready to fight kind of woman to putty in his hands.
By just this simple.
I was like,
That's amazing.
But how? Wait. Just by these simple techniques here, really?
these techniques, I lived with a gentleman who used some of these techniques on me, and I started to notice once and then again and then again. I'm like, how did you get me from like we're just ready to just bite somebody's head off, to, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry, I was so grouchy. Would you like to go to dinner?
That was you transformed.
That was me. In 15 minutes or less.
I really want to learn these techniques.
Yeah, Friday, come to my class
Very beneficial for all men. Wouldn't all men want to know how to make women melt in their arms?
Yes.
Because here's the thing.
Yes.
Absolutely. And half of the time, the thing that she's angry about isn't him.
Right.
Most of the time.
I knew that.
It isn't him.
I knew that. I knew it wasn't
you know what I mean?
me. Yes. It's something else that happened.
It's everything else that's boiling under the surface, and you just happen to be the safe place to blow.
Exactly.
I'm not going to lose my job if I yell at you. I'm not going to lose the kids if I'm yelling at you. You're an adult, so it's not like you can't handle it, right? So we often in relationship feel like the place to safely unload is our partners, even though that's probably not the nicest way to have a relationship.
Well, this will heal that.
It helps
The bliss
in a big way.
So how do we get this? The Blissologist?
Well, the website you can go to is beherhero.com.
BeHerHero.com.
Because guys,
It's a great name.
Right? Guys love to be the hero.
We want to be the hero. We want to make the woman feel good. It's a touchdown.
Right, it is a touchdown.
It is. And she gets to relax and be her sensuous self.
Right, and let that come out fully, which I think every woman wants to feel free enough and safe enough to just let it open completely.
Every woman wants the chance to relax and breathe into a place where it's like, just connect. I remember, I always noticed that for me, it was like removing the clouds from in between us. Imagine if here I am looking at you and you're talking to me and talking to me, and it's like a fog between us. I can hear you, I don't really see you. And when I get calm and Blissology takes over and the parasympathetic kicks in, then the clouds move away with a nice brisk breeze, and I look at you and I'm like, oh, he's so handsome. I guess there is a reason I married him. And I really do like him, and he smells good, and all of a sudden I'm present in a way that I was not when I was busy.
Right.
Your body was unstressed and given some attention to relax. So women really are in their bodies. They really enjoy their bodies. I mean, men do too, but women like to feel their bodies.
Yeah.
And how is it different than the way men like to feel their bodies?
Well, I can only speak from my own experience as a woman.
That's the best way.
But I guess the more I get into this work and opening or dancing, it's like there's just a lot of pleasure in the body. It seems like our bodies are set up to feel good. And then once you start feeling good, you want to keep on feeling good.
Right.
And, dance and movement and all that stuff activates, I think, what's just naturally us, that full feeling.
It's that flow.
The flow.
It's about the flow.
I love it. I'm going to go out and get this. Actually, order a box full of them. No, I think it's a great thing you're doing, and it's about healing the wound between men and women and creating better relationships and more harmony on the planet.
Yeah, with easy tools.
Easy tools.
Easy tools.
Easy tools. You can learn it within an hour. You can do it within 3 minutes.
Wow. Blissology, BeHerHero.com.
Yes. And then the class is on Friday here in New York.
Well, we're not going to show this Friday, but tell us when the classes how they can find classes for you.
You can find classes at BeHerHero.com, and you can look under the section with products.
Are you traveling all over the country with this?
I do, as we find homes and places, people that we can connect with and open it up to their community, then we travel.
You should be on my New Life Sexuality panel with this.
Let's do.
Okay. Thank you, Deanna. Thank you, CC.
Thank you.
Okay, we have an appointment. So, any closing words you'd like to?
Mostly I want to thank you for having me, because it's so much fun to come to New York. I love this city, and I love playing with the energy and the people and getting to...
Where are you located?
I'm normally living in Indianapolis, Indiana.
Oh, I didn't know.
But every time I go home from New York City, I almost get a little depressed.
Oh, well,
because it's so alive in New York.
I guess you're not really, it's not legal to talk about this in Indiana, is it? I mean, they're just there racing their cars or something.
I know, right? They're racing their cars, racing corn, playing basketball.
And talk about how can people find you and your work and what you do.
Absolutely.
Okay, well, you can go to my website, and that's www.treadwayesoteric.com, TREADWAY, esoteric.com.
And you're going to be traveling around the country?
Yeah, I am starting a pilgrimage.
Oh.
Basically to open, it's a journey of the feminine, where I'll be visiting different places to receive from the land and open up even more. And I'm teaching a course on opening the womb, healing the womb. So.
That's great. What does that mean, healing the womb?
Yes. You know, a lot of what we were talking about today is about that, but the energy from trauma is stored in the womb. And so, so some of the first steps in energy healing is to start clearing that out and then filling the womb with the essence of the individual. And there's, in ancient cultures, the womb was very much known as the seat of power for a woman. And when it connects to the heart.
And the seat of intelligence.
And the seat of intelligence. And so we start opening up that wisdom in women, and most women have no idea that there's this stabilizing force, this creative power that's like, it's like so solid.
How do you do that for women? What's your technique? I mean, is it meditation? Is it hands-on?
It's really a combination of things. It's working through old stuff. It's opening up through the meditations. It's physical exercise. It's also reprogramming in the brain and taking chances in life and doing things differently. So
nice. It fits perfect.
I love what she's talking.
Carry a supply of Blissology with you. Thank you both for being here. This is Alan Steinfeld with the Blissology team for New Realities. Your website again is Be Your Hero, and yours is Esoteric Treadway?
Treadwayesoteric.com.
And mine is newrealities.com. You can reach me at the letter A, at newrealities.com. Thanks for watching. Thanks. That was good.
Thank you.
Can I have one of these?
Let me get you one. That's the only one I have right now. Are you
Send
going to
me
come
one.
to my class? Are you going to come to the class on
Friday?
Yeah, Tammy is hosting it at the dentist office.
Oh,
so
I know the dentist office, Friday.
Yeah, she's been...
Maybe I'll come for a little bit. Wow, that feels good.
Right?
Blissology, we need you to look at the camera and say your name.
Okay.
I'm Deanna Morae.
And talk about what is it you got? Say you're Deanna Morae and what?
I'm Deanna Morae with Blissology, and my website is www.beherhero.com.
And I'm massaging CC Treadway.
Circles.
Circles. Circles. Thank you. Circles. We have to be reminded. We just go into like a pattern.
Right.
How's that?
That's
Does that
great.
feel good?
Yeah.
You want more? Softer?
Thank you.
Okay.
All right. That's good. Let me see. Okay.